The streaming war is over. Piracy won.
In 2020, piracy was declared dead. Streaming had won. Netflix was $8.99 a month. Everything was there. No torrents, no sketchy websites, no malware, just click and watch. But by 2024, something impossible happened. Piracy websites' visits exploded to 216 billion, higher than before Netflix even existed. The companies that killed piracy brought it back from the dead, and they did it by betraying every single principle that made them successful.
I don't feel sorry for them. These companies, these high-tech companies literally had their chance. You can't continue to raise prices, making it subscription-based, while also still getting ads. This was a slow, gradual, painful fall.
Now 76% of young people pirate content while still paying for subscriptions.
And listen, the people that's pirating stuff, they're not doing it to get back at companies. They're doing it out of necessity. Do you think people want to pirate? Go to a sketchy website? Possibly get malware? So many risks of these sites. It's just they can't afford it. To even if they can afford it, don't want to go through, I gotta go to this app. And then, oh, they took off this. So now I gotta go to Hulu. Now I gotta go to Netflix. Now I gotta go to, no. People don't want to do that. So somebody might go to sketchy website 123. Not saying it's right, but that's just what's gonna happen.
Sites offer better interfaces than Netflix, and the industry is staring down $113 billion in losses by 2027. How did billion-dollar companies commit financial suicide this spectacularly? The story begins with a simple tweet. A Netflix subscription that cost $8.99 in 2019 now costs $15.49, but that's just the beginning. Disney Plus launched at $6.99, promising affordable family entertainment. Today, it's $15.99. That's a 129% increase in 5 years. HBO Max started as a premium option at $14.99. Their new Ultimate plan costs $20.99, nearly $21 a month for a streaming service. The average American now spends $508 per year on streaming. That's more than most people's car insurance. But the problem is, you can't just pick one service anymore. Want to watch The Office? That's Peacock. Game of Thrones? HBO Max. The Marvel shows? Disney Plus. Stranger Things? Netflix. To get everything your family wants, you...
But guess what? Here's the thing. People want to see their shows, so that's going to work. That's going to keep working. But for the people that just want to see, I don't know, niche shows that's not going to be there in like 2 or 3 months, this doesn't work. This system doesn't work. You can only make Stranger Things on Netflix for so long. That's going to get people in. That's going to keep people in for a while. That's going to keep people talking. That's going to keep people going to different shows and stuff. But that's only going to work for so long, bro. People move on. People want to see something else, something new, something different. And I like what Netflix is doing, like making their own original shows. But the system is failing because of the price. It's the price continuing to go up, 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 and up. Let's check this. All right. Standard with ads, 1080p, 2 devices, $7, right? This is with ads. Nobody is doing this. Nobody is buying that. Standard. Let's see this big jump. Do you see the big jump? $17.99. That's $18 for a standard version. $24 for 4K HDR and 4 devices and up to 2 extra slots. And this is a month. This adds up. That takes away groceries. That takes away food. Any bill possible. And here's the thing. That's one subscription service. One. Let's not talk about HBO. Let's not talk about Amazon Prime. This stuff adds up. So I wouldn't be too mad at the person feeling like they had to, do something else with their money.
You need 6 different subscriptions. The monthly bill hits $100 before you've watched a single episode. Imagine a family at their kitchen table, calculator out, trying to figure out how to afford entertainment for their kids. Dad scrolling through subscription prices, mom's adding up the monthly costs. The kids are asking why they can't watch the shows their friends are talking about. This is the moment streaming died. We would love to have the margins that Netflix has, Disney CEO Bob Iger told investors. Translation: he wants to squeeze every dollar out of customers just like Netflix does. The companies that promised to replace expensive cable TV became more expensive than cable TV. But raising prices was just the beginning. What Netflix did next crossed a line no company had ever crossed before. In 2017, Netflix proudly tweeted, "Love is sharing a password." By 2023, they were charging $6.99 extra for the same thing. The tweet went viral. Netflix
See, they don't do this because they just want more money. Obviously, they do want more money, but they're doing this also out of necessity. Netflix has become too big. Their production team, their movies that they make, they gotta pay the cast. They gotta pay their own company. They have to keep building the company. Because that's how companies work. Netflix is not the same as it was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Netflix was $6, $7. It was the best thing ever. People stopped Redbox. People stopped Blu-ray. People turned off the TV for a while. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, they turned off the TV. But then they kept expanding. Now they're in demand for more money. So they raised the prices and raised the prices and raised the prices. Now they have a subscription service for sharing it with other people. It's just ridiculous, bro. It's just too much of a headache.
looked cool, understanding, human. They got it. Families share accounts. College kids use their parents' login. That's not stealing, that's love. But internal documents reveal Netflix executives were already discussing password sharing as a revenue problem back in 2019. While publicly celebrating sharing, they were privately plotting to destroy it. Then in 2022, Netflix lost 1 million subscribers in a single quarter, the first subscriber loss in the company's history. Panic set in. Stock prices collapsed. Investors demanded blood. What was Netflix's solution, you ask? The answer is they betrayed their own customers. They claimed 100 million households were stealing through password sharing. The same behavior they'd celebrated with heart emojis and retweets was suddenly theft. The crackdown launched in 2023. If you tried to log in from a different location, Netflix demanded proof you lived there. College students got locked out of their family accounts. Parents traveling for work couldn't access their own subscriptions. Want to share with your college-age kid? That'll be $6.99 extra per month. The grandmother watching Netflix at her daughter's house during chemo treatments? Another $6.99. Disney saw Netflix's success and copied the playbook. Hulu followed. HBO Max joined in. The entire industry turned against password sharing overnight. A college student goes home for winter break, settling in to watch a show with her mom. The screen flashes an error. This TV doesn't seem...
You know the messed up part about it is like the fact that they don't care about any of this. They see numbers. They don't care. The logistic team tells them something and they do it. They jump on it. Because they don't care about the user. They care about the money from the user. Money can't be the only thing pulling you in a direction. Because at some point, there's going to be a diminish in quality. Now check this out. When I was watching Netflix, I looked it up. I said, wait, what is going on? Why does it look like it's like 280p? And I looked at my subscription. It said it was going to be strictly 1080p or more, right? I looked at it. I looked at what the quality of the video was. It was in 720p. It was in 720p. They are basically scamming me because you have to pay more for more quality, right? So why am I getting less quality for more money? That's why everything is failing.
to be part of the household for this account. Her own family account, treating her like a criminal. The companies that built empires on convenience and connection were now policing families like suspicious bank transactions. This betrayal broke something fundamental between streaming services and their customers. Trust, once shattered, doesn't easily repair. But destroying customer relationships was just the warm-up act. What HBO did next shocked even industry leaders. The company spent millions creating Westworld, won Emmy nominations for it. then deleted it from their own platform to avoid paying royalties. Westworld cost HBO $10 million per episode. 4 seasons, critical acclaim, awards buzz, a flagship series that defined the network's prestige brand. Then Warner Bros. Discovery deleted it. Gone. Vanished. Like it never existed. The reason? Avoiding residual payments to the cast and crew. HBO would rather erase their own masterpiece than pay the people who created it. But Westworld was just the beginning of the content apocalypse. In February 2025, HBO Max removed 80 shows in a single day. Subscribers woke up to find their watch lists gutted. Cartoon Network classics disappeared overnight too. Shows that defined childhoods deleted to cut costs. Parents trying to share nostalgic cartoons with their kids found empty pages where beloved series used to be. The strategy they deployed is called content impairment.
Isn't that crazy that they can just remove every show? What if Netflix just said, I'm removing every single show and left 2 shows left? Would that be illegal? Like, there needs to be some type of laws in place. Like, if you're gonna pay for something, you expect the shows you want to be there.
Shows from your platform, claim them as business losses, and get tax write-offs. Destroy art to save money. Even Disney joined the content destruction party. Shows vanished from Disney Plus without explanation. Series that families have been watching together simply disappeared mid-season. We continue to aggressively manage our cost base, Disney executives told investors. Translation, we'll delete anything that costs us a penny in residuals. A father and his 8-year-old son are halfway through a cartoon series. Tuesday night, family movie time. They pull up Disney Plus, and
It's gone.
nothing. Just an empty slot where their shared experience used to be. The boy asks, "Dad, where did our show go?" And the dad has no answer, because companies decided his son's entertainment was worth less than their quarterly profit margins. This is the madness of content destruction. Companies spending millions to create shows, then spending more money to erase them. While streaming services deleted their own content and charged families for sharing, something interesting was happening in the darker corners of the internet. Illegal sites offer better customer service than legal ones. Let's say you want to watch a specific movie. On Netflix search, not found. Check other apps, still not available. Maybe try Amazon Prime for $4.99 rental. On a piracy site, search, click, watch. In HD, for free, instantly. No subscription management, no password sharing restrictions, no surprise price increases, no content vanishing mid-season. The pirates kept every promise streaming services broke. While streaming executives focused on quarterly profits and password crackdowns, pirates focused on user experience. Guess which
Listen,
approach
I'm not
customers
saying nothing.
preferred?
I'm not saying
The
nothing.
result was the largest migration in internet history. There were 216.3 billion visits to piracy sites in 2024. Nations of every country on Earth combined. To put that number in perspective, if every piracy site visit was a person, it would be 27 times the population of the planet Earth. The exodus from streaming to piracy happened much faster than anyone predicted, too. In 2020, piracy actually hit historic lows. Just 130 billion visits. Streaming had seemingly won the war. But by 2024, that number had exploded to 216 billion visits, a 66% increase in just 4 years. Gen Z led the charge. 76% admit to pirating content while still paying for legitimate subscriptions. They're not abandoning streaming services completely, they're using both systems, legal and illegal, to get what they want. Half of all young people canceled at least one streaming service in the past 6 months. They are rebelling. Sweden provides a glimpse of the global scale. 25% of the entire population pirates content. In a developed, wealthy European country, 1 in 4 people has given up on legal streaming. The piracy surge isn't limited to movies and TV either. Manga piracy alone grew 347% between...
Crunchyroll, you're not slick either. You're not getting away from this. We know what you did. We don't like... We're not gonna talk
between
about it.
2019 and 2024. Every type of content, every demographic, every country, a whopping 24% of all internet traffic in North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific goes to piracy. That's more than some niche activity. That's a mainstream behavior. But here's what makes this migration different from the old Napster days. 80% of modern piracy is streaming based, not downloads. People aren't hoarding content on hard drives, they're treating piracy sites like alternative Netflix platforms. Picture a world map lighting up in real time with piracy activity. Dots appearing every second, millions per hour. A global visualization of customer dissatisfaction with an entire industry. The teenagers in Sweden, the college students in California, the families in Australia, all making the same decision independently. Streaming services failed us, so we'll find alternatives. The message is simple. Betray your customers and they'll abandon you in the millions. It's not looking good for Netflix and co.
Imagine a world where companies were more graceful towards the customer. Man, that was a good video. Hey man, if you can't beat them, join them.